Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Aries. That's Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aries Rising for the month of April 2025. Of course, April is one of the months that the sun is in Aries. So there's always a very Aryan energy to the month of April. So before we get started on that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls. For my tried and true who have followed me for years, you know I love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much. We've walked this path together, and it's been rather circuitous with ups and downs and everything in between. Thank you. I really do appreciate your loyalty. And for my new members who've decided to join my membership, thank you so much for your support. And for my Patreon folk who support me through Patreon, again, thank you so very much. I'll talk a little bit about the membership on YouTube at the end of the video. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to look at the astrology first. We'll just look at the general astrology to start, and then we'll look specifically for you, and then we'll do the card reading. All right. Excuse me. All right, let's get with the astrology first. And here we go. Okay, April. So numerologically, we're dealing with three vibrations this April. First of all, April is the fourth month, and so we look at the four. The four is a vibration of building. It's also a vibration of crisis and opportunity. The Emperor, of course, the four card is about dominion, having dominion, the rights to yourself. Aries is very much about the self. And on the tree of life, it's located on the path between Hokmah, which is wisdom, and Tiphereth, which is beauty. And so this is associated with Uranus. We have Uranus still in Taurus, and the Sun in Aries, and then your sign, and then moving into Taurus later in the month. That path gets activated. The 9 is the vibration of the year. This is a vibration we'll be looking at all year. The Hermit card, this is wisdom. This is healing. This is shining your light. It's located here on the tree of life between Jupiter, the greater benefic, and the sun, the two largest things in the solar system, and the path that runs between them, the path of wisdom, illuminating your wisdom and having wisdom illuminated to you. All year, guys, all year. And then when you add these two vibrations together, we get this third vibration, which is death, 13-4, death and rebirth, right? From death, we have a new beginning, a new building, right? We have the four there. We have the, oops, sorry about that. Jumping ahead. Just like you, Aries, try to jump ahead. Now that was my finger, I realized, but it was possessed by an Aries. All of the paths activated are connected to the pillar of the past. This is the pillar of the past. This is the pillar of the present moment, the middle pillar. Then this is the pillar of the future. So it's as if uh, things from the past, including talents and abilities, and knowing what you know, is also uh, at your beck and call. You can pull it in and pull it back to you. So a lot of wisdom from previous lifetimes is we have access to that. And that's because we're all sort of in the middle of this great transformational experience where there are a lot of like different timelines coming together, and all the wisdom from all the lives, we have the access to that now. So on the third, so that's the Kabbalah part. Astrologically, we start the month with just the best aspects: Saturn sextile Uranus. This is it's a waning sextile. This synodic cycle between Saturn and Uranus has been going on for years. I believe it began in 1988. 45 years from there. we have a new Saturn Uranus conjunction, but we're still not there. We still if there's 360 degrees in a circle, we're at the 300-degree mark. So we only have another sort of 60 degrees, which is going to take a couple of years for those two planets to come back together. But this is a golden opportunity for progressive change, for changing the structure of government so that it can serve more people more humanitarianly. Now, as we look at that, we think to ourselves, at least here in America, how? But this is and you know we do have to go back to 1988 and the things that sort of brought those two planets together. Um, Maybe I'll do a separate video for my members on the cycle of Saturn and Uranus. It's very, very fascinating. On April 6th, we have the Sun sextile Jupiter. Remember, the Sun and Jupiter are being are activated this year. So anytime the Sun and Jupiter do anything, it's activating that 9 vibration. And this is a sextile opens the lines of communication, right? This is an opportunity. It's opening lines of communication, but it's also a progressive sextile. It's also about moving in a more progressive direction. And we also have Venus trine Mars on that day, which is pretty awesome. There's a flow with Venus and Venus and Mars are how we relate to each other. On the 7th, we have Mercury station direct, right? It's been retrograde since the 15th of of March. So people are excited about that it's direct. It's direct in Pisces. It will move back into Aries. When does it move back into Aries here? Mercury sextiling. Oh, here we go. On the 16th, it moves back into Aries. Um, we also have Venus conjunct Saturn on the 7th. And then we have Venus station direct on the 12th. And the same day as the full moon in Libra. Libra is a Venus ruled sign, so that's significant. And we actually have another Venus conjunct Saturn on the 24th. It's going backwards, it conjuncts Saturn, it turns around, it comes back, it conjuncts Saturn. So those are two conjunctions of Venus and Saturn. We have Mercury on the 16th ingress into Aries. I said that. And then on this next day, it conjoins with Neptune, which just moved into Aries at the end of last month on the 30th of March. First time it's been in Aries in about 151 years. So it's been a long time since it's been in Aries. And at the beginning of next year, in February, we're going to have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction at that very first degree of Aries where this conjunction is happening. So we're going to get a little bit of a hint. So keep your third eye open and your vision open for this because I think you'll get a little window into what's ahead for us in 2026. All right. On the 18th, Mars re-enters Leo. Remember, it's been retrograde for a long time. Went retrograde on the 6th, I think. The 6th of December at 7 degrees of Leo, back into Cancer on January 6th. Can't make this stuff up. And then turned back around on the 23rd of February, moved forward through March. But in Cancer, that very emotional, right? That wave of emotion that we experienced in March, among other things. And now it re-enters Leo. Still not out of its shadow, though. It has to reach that 7th degree before it's out of its shadow. That I don't believe happens until May. But I think May 2nd or something like that. But I could be wrong about that. I'll let you know in May, or you can look it up. All right. On the 19th, the sun ingresses into Taurus. Earthy Taurus, right? For you, this is your second house, your resources, your sense of self-worth. It's a good house. The sun going through that second house is a good house for you because you're just full of so many ideas that you finally get to like plant some of the seeds of your ideas at that time. All right. Mars also trines Neptune. That's a lovely Mars. Mars Neptune is always a little suspect because Mars is about forward motion and Neptune is about fog. But in the trine, it really works well together. It's probably my favorite Neptune Mars aspect to each other because there's such a beautiful flow. It's almost like it's like the flow that you see in a great dancer. You know, you see that athletic ability, but within the flow of the music, right? So that's very much, and so it would be a good day to go dancing, in case you're wondering what to do on April 19th. On the 20th, we have a couple of things happen. We have Venus sextile Uranus. That generally is like surprises in your relationship. Mercury sextile Pluto, really deep thinking. Sun square Mars, that can be a little bit difficult because the Sun and Mars both have agendas and they're not on the same page. But there is a big, big energy of rebellion at that time. So being an authority is not necessarily going to be fun at that time. On the 21st, Saturn conjoins the north node of the moon, sort of planting the seed. Saturn makes things real. The north node is going to be a real sober look at the future, a real sober look at the future. April 23rd, the sun makes a first quarter square to Pluto. This is a crisis in action square. That is also this week is a little challenging. This one, the 20th. This is nice, the 19th. This is what we'll see is we'll see stuff with Zelensky because when Mars re-enters Leo, it's going to be on his Mars and it's going to be moving forward. So he's taken a real hit as Mars went retrograde, but now it's moving forward, and that is going to, God willing, energize him. Okay. All right. There's the 24th Venus conjunct Saturn again. The 26th Mars opposite Pluto. This is the last of three. This was long. It took a long time. It opposed it three times. The first time was 2 days before the election, the 3rd of November. Second time, I think, was the first or second day of 2025. And this will be the last time that it makes its opposition. So whatever seed was planted at the original Mars-Pluto conjunction, which I believe occurred at 1 degree of Pluto, and that was 2 years ago. Okay, about 2 years ago. It's going to come. Well, no, that was a year ago. I'm sorry, a year ago. The opposition happens. Well, actually, it's been longer than that. It's been a little bit longer than that, I have to say. But anyway, the opposition is the fruit, and everything that's happened since the 11th of November to this point has been the fruit of that original conjunction. And it was in Aquarius, so we're talking about the Aquarian ideal. And Aquarius is about instability. It's not, we're power to the people and all of that stuff, but power to the people because we have to take our fate in our own hands to a certain extent and fight for our rights for autonomy and self-rule. Okay. On the 27th of April, we have the new moon in Taurus, second house for you guys. So it could, planting seeds maybe for a business, or just even planting seeds in your garden. And then April 30th, Venus goes back into Aries. She ends the month with Venus going into Aries last month. We ended it with Neptune going into Aries. Both Venus and Neptune are connected. Neptune is considered the higher octave of Venus. And so powerful connections at the end, really, of both months. Although Neptune is much more diffuse, whereas Venus, coming out of her retrograde cycle, is going to be much more focused on what to do. What to do. All right, let's go to your particular and specific chart. Still have quite a bit of energy in Pisces. We start with both Venus and Mercury in Pisces, but they're turning around and moving into Aries. There should be an Aries here, but it's only a day, so I probably forgot to put it in. But so still a lot of active 12th house stuff happening, things behind the scenes. Of course, whoops, sorry about that. When I don't want it to move, when I press it and I want it to move, it doesn't move. And when I don't do anything, it moves by itself, or I get to, anyway, complaints. So we still have that 12th house sort of mystic cosmic sea energy. The north node, of course, is in Pisces now. And so it's asking you to face the things that undo you to a certain extent, to heal, to connect with spirit, to trust that the universe has your back, and to connect with your own higher spiritual self. We have, of course, the sun start the month in your sign in the first house, then moving into the second house. That's really nice. The sun in Aries is exalted. Sun loves being in Aries. Maybe a little less in Taurus, but there's a lot of work to be done. So if the sun's on your back while you're doing your work, you're happy with that. Um, let's see. Mars here in Cancer, then moving into Leo, right? So we're seeing forward motion in your home. If you've been having any, if you've been doing any renovation or anything like that, or if there's been upsetment in your home, Mars retrograde in in Cancer in your fourth house, and then direct in your fourth house. Just a lot of energy, a lot of water moving in your home. The fourth house can be plumbing, so you may have had some water issues, but that's going to start to dry out as Mars moves into the house of your creativity in Leo. So towards the end of the month, it's you start a more creative path with that. Maybe a little bit more fun. Yeah, yeah. Maybe you want to do something like you want to do something fun, and zip lining might be the thing that you have in your mind. I think it's okay. You can go zip lining if you want. All right, the full moon that happens on where is the full moon here? I just said it before. On the 12th, it's happening in your house of relationship with the sun in your first house. So this is awareness around a relationship, or it could be something comes to fruition around that relationship, or sometimes it can be sometimes full moons are the end of something, or something happens and a decision is made. So you'll know what it's about. Everybody will have a different experience with that. Um, and of course, Venus, which rules your seventh house, has spent a lot of time in the underworld. So reevaluating your relationships, we might actually see an action taken on the 12th about whatever decision you make, about whatever relationships. It's not just romantic relationships, it's any relationship, any back and forth relationship. You do have Pluto in the 11th house, going to be there for 19 years. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. This is the power of the people, honestly. This is the power of the people. Pluto in Aquarius in the 11th house. All right, let's see what else. Saturn's still in that 12th house. Saturn will be moving into Aries, but that I believe doesn't happen until next month. No, July, I think. Okay. I'll let you know. New moon in second house. Good time to start a business, start a project, plant some seeds in your garden. Watching your seeds grow. You do have Uranus still there. Uranus will be eventually moving into Gemini. Yeah, just briefly, and then go back into Taurus to finish up. But Uranus will be going into Gemini this year, and then you have Jupiter in Gemini now, moving forward, and then I think it's in July, in the summer, July or August, it moves into Cancer. I think it's July, and it likes being in Cancer, and then it'll be in your fourth house of the home. So there can be an expansion in your home. So maybe some renovation or making more space, or something expands more um, abundance in your home. All right. That's what I see, guys. All right. Let me stop the share. And I'm going to do a card reading. I guess I'll use these. This is the Thoth Deck. Aries seems to get this deck a lot. And it's not, for no other reason, really, but it was right next to me. Not picking on you, Aries. I like the Thoth. It can be harsh, but it can also be amazing. And when you get like an amazing reading with this deck, you're like, okay, good. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Messages, information for Aries. Does Aries need to know? Does Aries need to know? Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I got to do this the other way. These are too unwieldy to shuffle that way. I end up dropping them on the floor. So I apologize if this is noisy. I know when I'm listening, I don't like to hear the like bang, 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 like suddenly in the middle of the video. All right. Oh, God, speaking of noisy, there's a little wren outside. Tweet, tweet. They're so cute. They're so ballsy. Kind of like Aries. Speaking of Aries, Sun in Aries. Woohoo! Virtue, you virtuous soul. This is Three of Wands. This is a great card. I love this card. I call this card the birth of light. The birth of light. It's like creativity. It's three is creative self-expression. It is in Bina in the black Sephiroth up there, the little black circle on the tree of life. Whoops, right there. So there's seriousness to it. It's associated with Saturn. But this is a really nice way to start. Sun in Aries. You're shining bright as we start at this moment. You are getting some interference. This is the crossing card. There's some interference coming. It's like there's a part of you that doesn't maybe feel like you can say things. It's almost like your heart is full and there's all this energy, and then it's like somebody's doing this. Is that your fear of expressing yourself? I don't know. We'll look. We'll see. There's some interference in your ability to say, but it's also it can be being a prisoner of your own mind, like negative thoughts. So there's a lot of negativity out there. You know, everybody's saying everything, and there's so much catastrophizing, and this is the end of life as we know it, and you know, people are really, really freaking out. So it's understandable that there's this sense of like restriction of what you can actually say. Let's see what's underneath it. Dominion. This is also an Aries card. So you have dominion. You have hold of yourself. So what's the interference? Well, we'll continue. We'll continue. In the past, oh yeah, something came to a complete end. End of one thing, and then the sun is beginning to rise. So there was a situation that was not good, and now it's over, but it's in the past. It's in the past. So the shock of the over is in the past. It's not in the moment because right now you're shining. It's like somehow whatever stopped, whatever ended, whether it was a thought form, a way of thinking, um, it could, you know what this interference might be? There could have been some decision made that something ended and you're not allowed to talk about it yet. Maybe that's what that is. Like there's like you have to be very careful about what you say about it. In the sky, we have the Hermit. This is the card of the year, right? The Hermit. This is wisdom. This is shining your light. So this says to me, Spirit says, shine your light, but do it humbly, because there's a humility to this card. It's a Virgo card. And if that's not it, if it's not that you have the light to shine, then somebody is shining a light that you need to pay attention to. And you may need to sort of gaze into the darkness a little bit. You know, the hermit sits on top of the mountain and he takes this little lamp and he holds it up and he shines his light. But sometimes you have to be looking real hard for that light and then walk towards it, right? Okay. In the immediate future or the card for the month, you're worried about finances. You're worried about resources. We're all worried about resources. It is a time of instability. So you do have some money worries, and you might actually have a decrease in your resources this month. But remember, you have that new moon in Taurus at the end of the month. So it's about planting new seeds. You might have actually been fired and you can't say anything about it yet. And you're worried about money. Okay. Um, how it's seen from the outside, power. This could be you being powerful. I would say that's what this is. People see you as powerful, powerful. Domestic situation. All right, Three of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards. This is good work. This is good work. You have power, you have good work. I think the money issue will be temporary. If there's a money issue, it's a temporary issue because you're sure of yourself. You have there's just like there's all of this work. It's almost like before it actually like comes on in a big way, it's that right before the curtain opens and you're like, oh, can I do it? Your stomach's all in knots and you're not quite there. But if you never take the chance, you'll never be there. So you have to take that leap of faith, right? And it's almost like your leap of faith was forced upon you. That's the past. Okay. Um, hopes and fears, transformation, change, change. I guess you could fear the end of something, but fear is a waste of time. It just takes your energy away and it decreases your opportunities to move and see the world that you want to create and move in the direction that you want to go. Oh, yeah, baby, the fool. What kind of fool am I? What kind of fool are you? Yeah, new, like off, new, completely new, interference gone. You take the leap of faith. So I feel like this month for you is you're in this like you yourself are good, but it's like there are things about the way people are talking or the things are happening that don't make any sense. And it's got you worried about your resources, but you've done good work. You have the foundation and a whole new world is ahead of you. So not to worry, even though you'll probably worry. Underneath it is change, and this is a money card. So having to balance your finances, emotionally disappointing, something disappointed you, made you sad, but you have to take those two cups that are left over and continue to move on and to victory. To victory. You will be victorious, my dear Aries. All right, love it. It's not all good. I mean, it's all good, but it's not without its challenges. Just don't get into the fear. And just because something happened to you that was unexpected, perhaps, and seems ruinous in the past, it's actually the step that you need to move into the future that is like a whole new thing. And Aries does like new, and Aries does like new opportunity. And Neptune now is in your sign. And so you can impress upon the great cosmic sea your beingness, your desire, perhaps, your what do you want to bring forth? And because we have Saturn and Neptune next year making that conjunction at that first degree. Um, this is when the rubber meets the road, right? This is when we get to do what we came to do. Exciting times. All right, one more. We're going to pick a oracle card. I've been using the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and we'll see what animal spirit speaks to Aries. Yes, Aries. I do any number of these so in a day. So I always have my painting back there to remind me what sign I'm talking about. Because sometimes I can get off on a tangent. All right. All right. One more, guys. Sorry. I know it gets a little noisy. It's no fun. All right. Great animal oracle. Whew. White Raven spirit, 66. 66 is a 3 vibration, and the tarot, it's the Queen of Pentacles. Sorry. I got this in Ireland when I went. Isn't it pretty? You think I would have picked up something green because I love green. My house is green. Ugh, everything's green. My living room is green. But no, I was attracted to the red, so I grabbed the red. All right, where is the book? Woo, woo. Okay, here we go. White Raven Spirit. 66. 66. Oh, it's almost the last one, or it might be the last one in the book. Oh, no, not quite. All right. Trust the magic. Nothing in the universe is random. From the intricate web of co-creation weaves together all events and has done so since the beginning of time. Coincidences have meaning, and White Raven Spirit appears to remind you to pay attention to these synchronicities so that you might recognize patterns. Even the winds dance in a pattern, participating in the magic of the Spirit's plan for all. Align with the highest good and intentions, and you will come to see what White Raven is guiding you, an ally to you, and a messenger from Spirit. Align with the light, and you will start to recognize that all is working together harmoniously in ways that eyes can't always see, the mind can't always comprehend. The universe is conspiring on your behalf right now, drawing you to the light and bringing you the magic and miracles that are your birthright. Now is the time to trust in the magic of the world that is everywhere and in all things. Pay attention to how things come together as if by magic, and you will see the hand of Great Spirit arranging things in your favor. The world is aspiring or conspiring for you. I like that. Don't worry. Don't you worry about a thing, Mama. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Oh, membership. I have two memberships. I have Starlets, and then I have the Star Seekers. Star Seekers, right? Yes. The Star Seekers has it's a little more expensive, and it has more like sort of more heavy on the technical astrology stuff. And I'll also be doing lives with that group. So that's the difference. All right, guys, take care. I'm here every morning. You can see me there, and I will see you again next month for this, and tomorrow morning for the stars and the garden. Take care, everyone. Namaste.